Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. All of these folks behind me, supporters, friends, and family. I want to especially thank Sue Ann, my wife, for joining me today, my son Anthony, and Maria wishes she could be here, but school at Sacred Heart Griffin is more important. So we did not want to take her out of class. A couple other quick thank yous. I want to thank Bill Maslowski, the artist of the Kutra Khan's rendition behind me, and Noonan's True Value for allowing us to use the former location of Kutra Khan's, and Staub Funeral Home for use of this place where you usually sign in for a visitation. But I thank you for being here, because this is the site of my parents' restaurant, Kutra Khan's, and my brother Dominic and his daughter Nicole are here, and naturally he had the same parents, and Paul and Angie Palazzolo started Kutra Khan's in the late 1940s. They actually purchased it and turned it into a place that was the place to go on the avenue. They transformed Kutra Khan's, and they were also examples for young people, and they operated their business with fiscal responsibility. And these are lessons that Dominic and I learned from them and that I still use today, particularly in service as Sangamon County Auditor. Today I'd like to announce officially and launch our campaign for re-election as Sangamon County Auditor. And we've done some fantastic things in the last years that we've had a chance to serve as Sangamon County Auditor. Since then, we've saved $8 million for taxpayers since 2008 by engineering the county's voluntary severance plan. We've reduced workers' compensation claims expenses by hiring a medical case management firm. We've saved $220,000 for the county by teaming with the city of Springfield, a unique concept to bid for a medical case management firm. We've reduced workplace injuries nearly 30% by creating the county's Workplace Safety Board. We've saved thousands of dollars annually by starting the county's motor pool to decrease mileage reimbursement expenses. And we've been transparent by putting Sangamon County's checkbook online for everyone to have the opportunity to see where Sangamon County's taxpayer dollars are going. We've added other financial documents for public viewing on the county's webpage so that folks can see our annual audits since I became auditor in 2002, and other documents that are there available for people to view. We've also initiated Sangamon County's fraud hotline so that if folks see abuses of Sangamon County government, they can anonymously leave those tips for us to follow up on and make sure that taxpayer dollars are not being wasted. These are all elements of transparency that we have elevated as Sangamon County Auditor. Now, I also want to announce today that as part of the fact that this is a fiscal and financial office, I'm releasing my family's personal tax returns today for the last 5 years. Now, I want to be very clear that releasing these personal documents has no link to current national level campaigns. Here's why. I have released my tax returns before. This is not something new or related to current issues and debating going on the national level. And most importantly, this is a financial office by nature. The events surrounding Dixon, Illinois, and the alleged financial activities of that city's controller are a perfect example of why the public should be aware of the fiscal starting points of those who wish to serve as Sangamon County Auditor. So I've got a bundled set for all of the news media here today of the last 5 years of tax returns. Again, not any relation to what's going on nationally, but this is something that I personally feel needs to be done, and also because this office, by virtue of its fiscal nature, is something that we should all be privy to and understand who wants to serve in this role, the backgrounds of people who want to serve in this role, and the future for what serving in this role could entail, i.e. what happened in Dixon, Illinois with the city's controller. With that, I'll thank everybody again for being here. Your support means a lot. I want to especially also mention my very first boss when I worked at the Platter in downtown Springfield. Charlie Salvo taught me a lot about making sure that your stock was clean and be ready to sell. And he was a good boss. We had a good time while we worked and made good things happen. Any questions from anybody?
Do you know if your opponent has released his tax returns?
I have no idea if he has or not.
If not, would you encourage him to release those?
I think it would be appropriate, again, because if you're wanting to serve in a fiscal office by nature, one's fiscal level of appropriateness and background, particularly surrounding the events of Dixon, Illinois, we should all be aware of one's fiscal starting point who wants to serve in this role.
The county fraud hotline, I don't know if you have the numbers, or maybe you can give us an example of the types of things that citizens should look out for or what they have reported.
Well, there's two ways that the hotline can be used. By the way, the number is 535-2370. And the hotline can be used to point out potential fraud, waste of services, potential abuses of county services, but also that hotline can be used to point out positive elements of what could be improved. Not necessarily all negative things, but if you see a way that something can be done just a little better, call that hotline. And you don't have to necessarily be anonymous when you're pointing out something positive, but use the hotline to tell us how some kind of service could be just improved a little better. So it's twofold, both negatively pointing out potential fraud and abuses, and positively showing us how something could be done just a little better.
Do you know any examples of things that have been brought up that were negative and potential abuses?
We had some things brought up that we investigated a little bit and looked into. We're still kind of looking into those things, but there have been a few instances that the hotline has been used for. We'd like it to be used more. And so that's why one of the things that we had when we brought the team of experts in to help us review this Dixon, Illinois situation and learn from that, pointing out the awareness level of the fraud hotline is something that we need to elevate that awareness level for.